Many thanks for staying tuned. There's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. And on the program this morning, we'll be weighing in on the campaign of Kano State Governor from the NNPP to the APC. And I have two gentlemen joining the conversation this morning. Both men are joining the studio via Zoom this morning. It's our pleasure to welcome the National Secretary of the New Nigerian People's Party, Dikpo Olayoko. Thank you for joining the conversation this morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, good morning, Lagos.
All right, and we have Evans Ofeli, a constitutional lawyer, also joining the conversation this morning. Thank you, Evans, for joining in.
Good morning. Thank you.
Right. So let's start with Mr. Olayoko, because, again, you are the party man here. After weeks of speculations, we're hearing that, of course, the Kano State Governor is leaving the NNPP for the APC. I'd like to ask you, was the party formally informed of this decision, Mr. Olayoko?
Yes. According to our people in Kano, the governor, His Excellency Abba Yusuf, resigned his membership of NNPP at his word on Friday.
Okay.
Although we, at the national level, about 2 weeks ago, we dissolved the entire Kano structure, right from the ward level to state level. And we have only set up a critical committee at the state level. We have informed INEC adequately, and but we have not set up the structures at the ward level.
Okay.
So I think what the governor did was to resign, giving his letter to the dissolved ward ESCO. But be that as it may, it is no more news that our governor has left us. It did not come as a surprise. As a political party, we knew about a year ago that he was thinking of leaving.
Okay.
Yes, although last December, December 2025, we did our national convention.
Okay.
After we have done our congresses from the ward to local government to state, we did our NEC on the 19th, and we did our national convention on December 20th, and he was there.
Okay. He
even gave an address where he called for party unity. But like I said, it did not come to us as a surprise.
As a surprise.
But what we thought was that maybe he wanted to leave, was it a rumor or not, until we got to know that on Friday, he tendered his letter of resignation from the NNPP.
Right, Mr.
Spokesperson.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
And the spokesperson on that day, while addressing the media, said in the next few days that they were going to make their next political journey known to Nigerians. So if there are speculation that he was going to join APC today,
right,
I think it's in line with what his spokesperson already said on Friday.
Right. Let's backtrack a bit and just take from what you said earlier on that there was, the party had dissolved the Kano State executive. And so him presenting or resigning from the party and then presenting his letter of resignation to a dissolved executive in Kano State, does that have any effect on whether or not he has left the party, or is this a breach of any form?
Well, I think that one should be left to the lawyers to decide, because to us, you cannot force a horse to the river because if he has made up his mind to leave us, and if he has resigned, whether to dissolve ESCO, just like the governor of Rivers State said at the heat of his problem with his with the Minister for Federal Capital Territory, the Governor Fubara said, if someone cock a gun, point it at you and shot the gun,
right,
and due to one reason or the other, the gun did not come off, he said the guy has already killed you. So whether our governor resigned to a dissolved ESCO or not, at least he has made his intention known that he was leaving the party. So I don't think we should belabor the point by asking whether it is legal or not legal. I think that one can be handled by the lawyers.
Okay.
But the bottom line, the truth of the matter is that he has left us, and then it didn't come to us as a surprise. We saw the moves over a year ago, though he kept on denying it.
Okay.
But he has made it known now officially.
Right. At another forum, we understand that this also can be termed by the NNPC as a betrayal of not only the party but the people of Kano, because the governor rode on the instruments of the NNPP to become the governor of Kano State. Do you also share in that sentiment, or is it good to say that, well, it is his choice and he has a right to associate with any political party?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, it is his choice. But if you look at the circumstances that brought him into office, in 2019, Governor Abba Yusuf, then as the candidate of PDP, was at the point of being declared as the winner of the governorship election in 2019 on the platform of PDP, like I said. But along the line, typical of the APC, they introduced what they call inconclusive election. And they quickly organized a by-election, or what they call the complete election, and then they say APC has won again. So in 2023, if you look at the electioneering, it was like a war.
Okay.
And the people of Kano stood by him. In fact, on the day of one of the elections, some thugs went to the NNPP secretariat, burned down the secretariat, killing 13 people inside that house.
Right.
Then when the elections came, on the day they were supposed to announce the election after they have concluded the compilation, around 3-4 a.m., the guy who was doing the compilation, because the people of Kano were there, that they must announce that result. They said one beating twice shy because of the experience of what they had in 2019 when their victory was swept. The people of Kano kept vigil at the collation center. And when the collation officer wanted to excuse himself to go and do whatever they wanted to do, they called the leader of the party.
Right.
So who at that time went to the collation center to tell the guy that, okay, if you want to go and eat yourself, find one corner there, because they know their trick. If he had been able to leave that collation center, he would have gone and then they would declare the election inconclusive and then do the manipulation. But the people of Kano stood by him. And eventually the result was announced. Now, fast forward, the APC went to tribunal. Throughout the trial, from tribunal to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court, the people of Kano stood by him.
Right.
And we gave this guy our mandate. He lost at the tribunal in some shady circumstances. NNPP lost at the Court of Appeal. But we went out with the people of Kano, telling Nigerians that we won the election. Eventually, Supreme Court gave him the verdict that he won.
Right.
On the day Abba was returning to Kano, when he entered the border of Kano, to even get to his office, he spent 10 hours. People of Kano were there to receive him.
Okay.
So if he is now leaving, he might take giving to him on platform of NPP. I'm going to give it to APC that the people of Kano rejected. Then if you call it betrayal on the people of Kano, I don't think you are not too far from the truth.
Okay.
But that is not the position of things. It was a victory for the Kano people.
Right. And the NNPP as well. At some point in time, Governor Yusuf had said there was crisis in the NNPP, and he gave that as one of the reasons why it was quitting that party. Take us through what exactly the stand is at the moment. How cohesive and unified is the NNPP, not only in Kano State, but as a political party in Nigeria?
You cannot say because your house is on fire, and then you decide to go to a neighbor's house. I think what you do is you use your position to see how you can quench the fire. That is going by his own analogy.
Right.
That is assuming that they are not considering that he is right. I don't think there's any political party that does not have issues.
Right.
And Nigerians know the reason why opposition political parties are having issues. Because it's like we have a political party in power that does not believe there should be opposition in 2027. But that is not the discussion for this forum.
Right.
What we are talking about is if he is saying, according to, because don't forget that the governor has not said anything. It's only his boys or his say that are talking.
That are speaking.
But if they are saying it's because there's a problem in NNPP, I think how do you know a leader? A leader is someone when there's a problem in his house, he sees how he can solve it. Right. But like I said, the governor has not said anything about the crisis in the party. That's why he's leaving. But I don't think that's the new reason. Because the party that he is going to, if it is true, if the people did not manage their own house very well,
right,
won't they have their issues too?
Sure.
So I don't think that one can hold water. But like I said, he didn't say it himself.
Right.
One of his boys are saying that.
Okay.
We have given a lot of excuses. On the program today, one of them said the reason why they are going to APC is because they want to align with the center. Because according to him, there are some intervention funds which APC has not given to them as a party, as a government, and they believe if they join APC, they will be able to access the intervention fund.
Right.
To me, it's an indictment of the president. If the president is only seen as the president of APC, I think that is not good for democracy.
Okay.
And if it is an indictment on him too, because we have had fantastic governors that perform even in opposition without aligning with the center. It depends on yourself, what you have for the people of your state, and how you can hold your own, even in terms of provocation, in terms of attack from nowhere.
Right, Mr. Layako, what does Governor Abba Yusuf, his exit from the NNPP, what does this portend for the structure of the party in Kano State?
Well, Governor Abba Yusuf is a governor. We respect him so much. He has been a friend. That is why I will be very measured in some of the things I'm going to say here, because we are friends. And I don't believe politics should create enmity between two people.
Right.
But the point is, to us now, we are not so much bothered about his leaving. Not that the thing didn't have any effect on us. Our major concern is how to concentrate on the FCT council polls that will be holding that will come up next month. Right. That is the major concern of the party now. Okay. All the processes have been concluded. INEC has done their own bit. We have done our own bit as a party. We have updated our candidates, our polling agents. We are only waiting for the day of election. So when we are concentrating on that for now. Maybe after that, then we'll, because after that, don't forget, we also have the Ekiti election governorship. We also have Osun governorship election. But those are the ones that immediate things that we are looking at. I don't think we want this one to be a distraction to us because he has left. There's nothing we can do. But what I am telling Nigeria today is that the structure of NNPP under the leadership of Senator Council remains intact. Right. That one is not in doubt.
Okay. I was just coming to the feelings of Rabiu Kokwanso, which you've also rightly mentioned, and he also last weekend say that urging the people of Kano not to be discouraged by this particular action. And for you and, of course, the party, what is the next step? You've said you'll be concentrating on the FCT polls coming up in February. But aside that, on the political scene, what are the alignments and realignments that the party is also looking at, especially towards the 2027 election?
Yes, you know, when elections like this are approaching, the general election, which is just about a year away, definitely politicians will be talking across board for many reasons, alignment, alliances, the alignment, the engineering. Yeah, people are talking to us, we are talking to people as well. And then, as we have said, 2027 will come, but we are focused on the council polls now. Okay. Because our people have prepared so much so well for this election. Our people are in the field, they are campaigning. So we don't want anything to distract their attention now. If the response is not too ideal to cry over a spilled milk, like they always say, If the man has left us, I think what we need to do is how do we point forward? And that's why we said our major concern now is the FCT polls. After that, we go to the Ekiti polls. That's the obstacle election. After that, we go to Osun. Then after that, we now begin to talk. But definitely, I can assure you, I can tell you, if I take it to the bank, people are talking to us, we are talking to people. 2027, I think there won't be any problem. Nothing will happen to the NNPP structure in 2027 in Kano.
Right.
It is still intact.
Okay, before we allow you go this morning, Mr. Olayoko, are there fears that this departure could also put pressure on some people who might also want to exit the party, not only in Kano State, but across Nigeria?
Yeah, so far, so good. Well, people have been talking to us from all over the states. Even in the Kano itself, you have seen the clips. Some people from the state, local governments, one after the other, they have been going to the leader to tell him that we are solidly behind you, we are not going anywhere. Nobody is grudging the governor if he thinks that is for his own self-survival. Nobody is grudging him.
Okay.
Like I said, we are not really perturbed because we knew about a year ago that he was leaving. Okay. Because he was under pressure. If they could, they almost snatched that thing away from him. And just last year, towards the end of last year, there was a by-election in Kano. Very clearly, NNPP won those elections from the report that we got from the field. All of a sudden, a political party that was losing started raising the issue of violence. And the CP of Kano came out and said, no, there was no violence. It was an election. They had a violence-free election. INEC came out that same day and said, no, there was no violence. But lo and behold, pressure came. All of a sudden, INEC said they canceled thousands of votes for NNPP because they said there was violence. A violence that they denied initially. So that one could discourage anybody. That means my victory could be snatched at any point in time. And if such a thing is happening, it dampens the morale of some of these people who think that probably their survival depends on the party that is in power at the center. But it is very, very unfortunate. Like I said, if one of his aides came on television today, I say Abba's aides, came on television and said they are defecting because they needed to access intervention fund from the federal government. I don't think that one speaks well of democracy we are practicing. The democracy we are practicing is supposed to be a multi-party democracy. We are people of the state can vote. Because if the people of Kano really wanted APC as their governor, they would have voted for an APC governor. Don't forget that there was a presidential election before the governorship election. Governorship election came 3 weeks after the presidential election. And by that time, they have declared APC as the winner of the presidential election. So the people of Kano wanted to align with the center. They would have voted for an APC governor. Okay. But if that is what the governor wants to do, there's no cause for alarm. Like I said, our structure are intact. All over the country, our people continue to tell us they are with NNPP. Even in Kano, that's why I gave you the example of Kano. Right. People from local governments have been paying visits. So that visit, that's what they call it, to the national leader, telling him, as for them, they aren't going anywhere. So, like, we wish the governor all the best. If there's, but I think some of them capitulated under serious pressure. Right. But there are certain things we cannot say on television. Definitely. In the interest of peace and stability in the country.
Definitely. Mr. Olayoko, let me quickly chip this in. Now that, of course, the governor, of course, has exited your party, and looking at issues around governance and looking at Kano State, of course, for its dynamic nature, and perhaps we will still have lawmakers in the NNPP, how do you expect things to pan out now that there could also be differences in political ideologies? But for the people of Kano, what is your advice for the governor and the lawmakers today as they begin to operate, maybe perhaps from different political parties?
Yeah, by nature of the leader of the party, who doesn't believe in violence, he doesn't believe in rancor, he has been appealing to the people of Kano, he has been appealing to some of our lawmakers that are still with us, that they should not do anything to tamper with the peace and tranquility of Kano. Because let me just say this thing. In 2023, NNPP didn't have even a councillor in Kano State. Not even a councillor. But at the end of the day, the 5 elections that were held in 2023, NNPP won all of them. In fact, the governorship election, Abba, that is the current governor, was the only governor that scored over 1 million votes in the whole of Nigeria. So the structure is there. If the national leader of NNPP says there's no cause for alarm, he must know what he's talking about because he knows the source, how the victory came. Even to the extent that in the night when they wanted to start playing their game, he left his house around 3 a.m. to go to the coalition and said, no, Mr. Man, you must announce this result. If you want to go and pray, find one corner to pray because they know their trick. Like I said, there's no cause for alarm. Okay. We just pray and pray that in 2027, let them give Nigerians free and fair elections. Right. And like the leader said, we will meet at the polls in 2027.
We'll meet at the polls. But before 2027, as someone who's also passionate about Nigeria and a party man yourself, I know that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as currently constituted, does not bar any governor from jumping ship from one party to the other. And so there's that freedom of moving from one place to the other. But in your own opinion, do you think this is the time to incorporate that into our laws, that as a governor, if you peradventure, cross from one political party to another, then you should relinquish that seat?
Yes, maybe if, but if anybody expects that one to come from this current National Assembly, the person must be waiting for Godot. But let us stretch the law to some extent. When the former minister, the former governor of Rivers,
right,
yes,
okay,
Rotimi Amechi,
right,
was denied the ticket of PDP in 2007. He won the primaries, but by the time the result got to Abuja, the almighty president then changed the result and brought in somebody who came third or fourth as the candidate of PDP. Rotimi Amechi, after the election, went to court. A Supreme Court in their ruling said the mandate given to a governor belongs to the party. And that in the eye of the law, as at the time they held the election, Celestio Mejia was not the governor, but it was Rotimi Amechi. Rotimi Amechi didn't take part in the governorship election. And the Supreme Court said by virtue of that, if the mandate belongs to the party, and the candidate of the party at the time of election was Rotimi Amechi, that was how Rotimi Amechi became governor of Rivers State. So if we now extend it, if the mandate of 2023 belongs to NNPP, it means that anybody that wants to leave NNPP, even as a governor, must drop the mandate to the NNPP. But like I said, that is one is for the lawyers to argue. We don't want to cry over a spilled milk. Right. We don't want that one to serve as a distraction to us, because even if we cannot force Abba to remain with us. Like I said, we are all friends. We worked it today because we knew how we fought in 2023 to ensure NNPP won and to ensure that NNPP sustained that victory, even at the tribunal, Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court. So, like I said, if some people want to argue it, if the Supreme Court says mandate belongs to the party, it is Supreme Court. It's the Supreme Court that ruled that money should be given to local government directly. Right. Despite the fact that the Constitution says there should be a joint account. And the Supreme Court judgment has become the law now. I think by extension, if the Supreme Court says the mandate belongs to the party, I think whoever wants to leave the party as a governor should bear the mandate for the party. But like I said, let the lawyers continue to argue that. But for the people in National Assembly to work on the Constitution, to amend it, to be very specific, maybe after the 2027 National Assembly that we are going to have. Definitely not this National Assembly. I'm sorry to say it. I'm not casting a passion on any of them. They are men of integrity, but nobody expects such a thing to come from this National Assembly.
That's fine. Now. All right, Dipola Ayoko, your final words for Nigerians this morning, especially those who still believe in the ideals of the NNPP.
Yeah, we have been talking to our people. They have been calling. They have been telling us they should not be bothered. It's one of those things. Let us return. Let us just think back to 2023 when we entered the race. We didn't have even one councillor in any part of the country, not to talk of governor. We have a governor for the first time in the history of NNPP. Let us use that one as a launching pad.
Okay.
It should not be dampened, morale should be dampened. But to Nigerians, I think we need to be very vigilant. Because vigilant, rather, we need to be very vigilant. Because something is happening to our democracy, which is alien to what we had right from 1999. So as we move towards 2027, Nigerians should not see election as that of the only political parties.
Okay.
It should be everybody's business, because we need to save our democracy. A situation where you have someone as the president who is like a principal, while governors are like class captains. It is not envisaged in our constitution. We have 3 tiers of government: federal, local government, state, and local government. And they are different powers.
Okay.
But a situation where a governor, you can say they are even afraid to talk to the president. I don't think that is what we have said when we wanted to go into democracy in 1999. God bless Nigeria.
All right, we'll have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, National Secretary, New Nigeria People's Party, Dipo Olayoko, for giving us your time on the program today. We appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
All right, of course, we've been speaking with Dipo Olayoko, the National Secretary of the NNPP, and he's taking us through the exit of Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State and the future of the NNPP going forward, especially in the fact that at the moment they'll be concentrating on the upcoming local council polls in the FCT. That's the much we can take. Unfortunately, we were unable to reconnect with Evans Ofeli on the program today, whom would have loved to hear his own angle, of course, as a lawyer on the program this morning. Hopefully, we'll be able to reconnect with him sometime soon on the program. Thank you for watching this side of the table this morning. We'll take a quick break. When we return, the conversation continues.